this next person, her bio is like, we'll miss lunch, right? We will miss lunch. So I'm going to read some highlights. Kim Fraser, nationally recognized top 1% agent for 20 years, top realtor for over 23 years and counting, top 20 individual agents with EXP, #1 in the worldwide for JL Scott when she was with that company, luxury specialist, superwoman, super mom. I can go on for like 2 more hours, but I want to bring energy to the stage with Miss Kim Fraser. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. Hi, good to see you. Hi, Joey. So I'm so excited to be here today. So blessed to be able to share this opportunity with you guys today. So my name's Kim Fraser. I've been a realtor for 23 years. I was actually top 1% at John L. Scott for 12 or 13 years before I left to come to EXP about 4 years ago. I'm currently ranked in the top 20 agents, number 13 out of 85,000 agents in the company. Woo! So 4th year. So my job today is to help inspire you and motivate you and help encourage you to raise up your price point, strengthen your income. I've sold about 1,400 homes in my career, about $750 million in sales volume. My husband works with me. He does our marketing. 2 of our daughters work with us. I'm a mom of 6, grandma to 9. And so I have a lot of experience, so I'm here to help. So anything you guys need after this presentation, please feel free to let me know. And we're going to get started here. So the first slide is going to be a listing that I have currently listed. We're going to be talking a little bit about luxury and raising your price point. This one I have listed today is $9 million. It's in Bellevue. It's a former Seattle Seahawks player's home. It's pretty cool, and I'll tell you how I got it in a second. Here we go. Oh. You want the video? Yeah, let's do video. Sorry. Let's go. We'll hit the video. Sorry. Thank you, Ray. So I took this listing a few months ago.
If luxury had an address, this would be it. Where modern design, comfort, and city views redefine everyday living.
I rented that car. I didn't want to get it back. I can talk through this because it's just music right now. So this is a 10,270 square foot home in downtown Bellevue. It's $9 million. The market's tough at all price points, including $9 million. So we've had one showing. Presentation's really important. So it's a full downtown Bellevue view. The only thing that seems to be moving in the Bellevue market in Seattle is things between like under 7 million or things that are on Lake Washington on the water. So it's a super cool property to have listed. This is the kind of position you find yourself in with luxury sometimes. Is I've got about $15,000 invested in this listing the first like 2 weeks on the market. So it's tough to take on something of this caliber until you have a little bit of money in reserves that you can take on something like that. And it could take a year, could take 2 years. I'm the second agent to have this listed. It was first listed at $11 million. And then it went down to 10, down to 9, and we have it at $9 million right now. And we're kind of holding price right now because at this price point, you're an athlete, you're a CEO, you're in the tech space. So there's just not at 6.5% interest rates, there aren't buyers like, you know, falling off the fence to buy this. So, but it's really cool to have a good marketing, good presentation. So this will just finish up here in a second, but very high luxury finishes. So it's really important when you're moving up your price point to really understand finishes, fit, what kind of fixtures you have, knowing your price point. This house is priced about $850 a square foot. The competition is about $1,300 to $1,500 a square foot. So we're priced really well. Part of that has to do that we're over 10,000 square feet. So obviously the higher the price, you all know, the lower the price per square foot, the smaller the house typically, the higher the price per square foot. And this is a perfect case in point. But it really is a great opportunity. So when you have opportunities like this, even when you might not be able to close the deal, hopefully my goal is to sell it, obviously. But in the meantime, it gives me an opportunity to leverage what I'm capable of. The most expensive listing I've had before, that's about $4.5 million. So to have a $9 million listing is a really big deal. So, and that's our little tag there. So it's kind of fun. So thank you. So that is a fun listing to market. But like I said, once again, the buyer pool is very small. So you use that as a proof piece of what's possible. Don't bank on the fact you're going to make $180,000 when it closes because it may never close. So luxury real estate isn't just about selling expensive homes, it's about mastering a different level of service, relationships, and personal branding. I used to own that house right there. Some of you know the story. In 07, I bought that. In 09, I sold it as a short sale for $2.1 million less than I bought it for. So bought it for 4.5, sold it for 2.4 18 months later. So guess what I did after that? I moved back to my old house I didn't sell and I rebuilt again. And I'll show you my new house in a second. I grew up as a single mom, welfare, food stamps, Didn't have a car, didn't have a phone, very embarrassing. In high school, super social, unlike Nolly. Can't believe Nolly was ever quiet, that's hilarious. So I grew up without a lot. At 25, bought my first house at 20, second at 22, at 25, I found myself a single mom of a 2.5, a 1.5, and a newborn. And loved real estate, I would help the agent was sitting site. If she was busy, I'd go get the key and I'd go open doors for her, and I'd come back and I really wanted to be a realtor. But I was busy selling Mary Cakes. I wanted a pink Cadillac because I love women, and if I could build people up and make them feel more confident, the world would be a better place. So I finally, after about 5 years of trying to chase a pink Cadillac, my husband's like, if you don't get your real estate license, we're gonna go broke. So I got my real estate license in May of 2002. Our youngest daughter was 2 weeks old at the time, so he would bring her to open houses. I would nurse at luxury listings in between like customers or before or after, and then she would go off because I had little babies. So I had 6 kids under the age of 10 when I started real estate, so anything's possible. So anyway, so I had an opportunity to buy my old house back. We chose not to. That house is currently on the market for $9 million, probably about $3 million overpriced. This is the first listing that I ever sold in luxury. So you wonder, like, how do you get started in raising your price point? First client I ever had was my next door neighbor's coworker, $185,000 house. I was so nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna know I'm a fraud. And I've never sold a house before. And how do I look confident without lying? Because integrity is everything, right? So I'm like, okay, how do I present like I'm super knowledgeable and experienced? I think they knew. I didn't tell them I was new, but I think they knew. Like, help my friend Kim out. So anyway, so I did a good job for the Trujillos. The Trujillos had some friends at Hamilton's. A few doors up, Hamilton's were selling their house because they built this beautiful home. So I sold the Hamilton's home for $215,000. I did a good job. 2 years later, the Hamiltons called me and said, we're getting a divorce. Would you be willing to sell our waterfront home? So we're back to 04. Average price point in that market was about $250,000. So I said, sure, I'd love to sell your $1.8 million home. And so I'm freaking out. Like, have you ever freaked out like a price point? You're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. So I was like, it's 6 times, 7 times the average of our area. And it was the highest sold on the lake that I live on. It was the highest sold ever on that lake. So you kind of fake it till you make it. That's what you do. So did a really good broker's open, did the best marketing, best presentation we could. So we marketed the house, we sold it. It sold for $1,575,000 in 05, right before the downturn. Beautiful home, and I'm still in contact with that seller or the buyer. His agent has long fallen out of the market, so when that house ever goes to sale, it's about $4 million right now. I'll be the agent who sells that house. Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you. So this is the $9 million I have. So think bigger. Luxury clients expect a higher level of market knowledge, confidence, and sophistication. So no matter what your price point is, the cheapest house I've ever sold is like a $47,000 mobile home. The most expensive is listed now at $9 million. We'll see where that goes. So make your service excellent at every price point, because you never know what that's going to turn into. My $215,000, which was average price point at the time, turned into a $1.8 million listing. So treat every listing with the respect that they deserve, and you never know what it's going to turn into. So this is a listing that I sold to my clients off market for about $2.4 million about 6 years ago. I'm going to be listing that in the spring for $4 million. They're moving to Arizona. So you want to over-prepare, know every property, every comparable and market stat in your area. You need consistent, high-quality branding. Every touch point must convey quality. Now, I do this across all of my price points. The least expensive house I've listed right now is a condo for $495,000 up to $9 million. I've got a lot of stuff under $1 million, and then I've got 17 active listings right now, and I'd say half of them are over $1 million and half of them are below $1 million, but they all have quality 4-page brochures because most of them are in my farm area that I market to. And so everything has a 4-page brochure, full color, full gloss. Bear Printing in Portland does a fabulous job. If you guys need great quality print, I send everything there. I actually leased about a year ago a 16-foot Canon printer that we have in our office. I have a second office that we have like our production stuff that goes through, because it's expensive to do mailings and marketing. So I leased a printer for $1,600 a month. I pay 4.5 cents a click per side. It could be this 11 by 17, 12 by 18, it's 4.5 cents a click and 1.1 cents for black and white. So I'm able to mass produce my content. We mail out 15,000 newsletters a month. Right now in the off season, we're going to bi-monthly, but I have 5, this last week I've had 5 come list me calls. So Sunday I have a $4 million listing that I'm going to, that's now a teardown, but 2.5 years ago I met them and another guy got the listing. He was a friend of the family, and he kind of started a little high. I was probably the most, she called me last week and said, you were the most realistic. Can you come list it? Can you meet us on Sunday at 5? I said, absolutely. So I'm gonna be listing that. And then from my farm area, we have 4 more listings, 3 appointments on Tuesday and 1 on Monday. So farming, if you think direct mail marketing doesn't work, it does. So not only do you have to have a strong presence on social, but if you pick a farm that you start marketing to, it is working. So this is a house I sold in Redmond. It was an expired listing. They called me from marketing materials. High-end marketing materials, consistent polished online presence. You need to align with luxury aesthetics, clean, minimal, sophisticated branding, not a bunch of crazy colors. It needs to be very classic, very clean, very easy and simple to read. A lot of you have seen it. So start where you are. You can take a standard listing and market it like it's a luxury listing. So I would say every single listing you take, you need to raise the bar. And so that's like your practice, right? And so when I go to a listing appointment, Nolly was talking about, you know, like, don't assume you're gonna get the listing. No, I assume I'm gonna get the listing because there's no one in my marketplace that has better marketing than we do. Like back in the day when all the magazines, Harmon Homes, Homes and Land, Real Estate Book, I was in every magazine. So I'd go to a listing appointment, bam, 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 bam. I'm like, I will have your house everywhere. No one else could do that, so I would get the listings. The most listings I've ever sold in the year is 101, and that was in 05, 2.5 years in the business. I hit top 1% with 101 listings. So that's quite a few for a pretty new agent. 4 years ago, I did 81 million in closed sales volume. In 2021, when I made the move from John L. Scott to EXP, I did about, what was that? 850 in GCI at John L. Scott, about 850 in GCI at EXP. So I split the year in half. So yeah, thank you. So it's good. So you can be a single mom that goes into real estate, grow up poor, and be able to create an incredible life for yourself. You don't have to, like, your destiny is not predetermined, you guys. You're in control of your destiny, honestly. Like I'm a Christian also, and God is not giving you the skills to get you to win the race, to run the race that you're called and required to run. So you need to just find that belief in yourself, you guys, because it's there within all of us, and anything's possible. You can look at people that are on stage and you're like, oh my gosh, they're different, they're special, and we're not. We just put the reps in. It's easy for me now. I've sold 1,400 homes. So I can go to a listing appointment. If I go to 100 listing appointments, I'm gonna take 95 of them. 95 of the listing appointments. So I'm like, what do you mean you didn't hire me? I'm like, okay, good luck. But the funny thing is, so I just tell them too, I'm like, and I just put it all out there like, wow, this is gonna be, I'm like, there's no one in this market that provides more in the means of marketing than I do. There's not. Now, if you have a family relationship, like I'll lose one occasionally to like a friend. I'm like, great, you know what? If for some reason that doesn't work out, go ahead and give me a call. I'm happy to help you. So like the one that was 2.5 years ago that I'm gonna list on Thursday for like $3.5, $4 million, the other guy wasn't able to get the job done. But I held my head high, I was respectful. Please keep me in mind if something changes, I'd be happy to help in the future. So anyway, so start with the stuff you have now. Get better at your branding, get better at your marketing, because that's the difference of being able to rise to the top or stay mediocre. Host open houses at luxury listings. So when I was a brand new agent, little tiny baby, 2 weeks old, like feeding the baby, run inside, I chose good listings. Like I'm not gonna go, if I want good quality sales, I'm not gonna go sit at a crap listing. That makes no sense. So sit at a good listing, sit at the listing that you want to, even if you feel like it's a stretch for you as far as like the quality, do a better job at the listing, provide great feedback to the agent who is allowing you to set the open house. Sweep the sidewalk, sweep the floor, vacuum if you need to. Just do a better job than anyone else that sat that open house. But there's plenty of opportunities and you get the reps in. And that gives you social proof too. You're like, oh, hi, I'm staying at this house in Salem today for $1 million. It's a beautiful property. If you or anyone you know is looking to buy a house in this market, I'm here 12 to 4 today. Please feel free to stop by. It gives you social proof. They don't know if it's your listing or someone else's listing. You don't have to say it's not your listing, but getting the reps in and making yourself look the part is huge, and it doesn't cost you anything. Also, water, cookies. But you know what's funny? I one time didn't bring water, and I double-ended a $4 million house from an open house. So I had a really bad attitude. It was 113 degrees. I didn't want to go. I was tired. I worked 12 to 14 hours a day lately because there was a lot of listings. And I didn't have a great attitude. And I was like, I just want to stay home. I want to enjoy I live on a lake. I'm never in the lake. I'm like, I want to enjoy it. And I had two $4 million listings at one point, and I double-ended both of them my first month at EXP by showing up at the open house. So, thank you. So, like, everybody's like, oh, it's a waste of time, but it's not. I get ghosted, but then 1 month I made $500,000 by showing up. So just show up. Co-list with experienced luxury agents to gain exposure. So if you're someone who doesn't feel like they've got the chops and you're gonna basically have no shot at getting a listing, bring in a great listing agent with you. Split it 50-50 because 50% of something is better than 0% of nothing. And that's how you learn, that's how you get better. Watch their presentation, watch their materials, things like that. And breaking into luxury is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Like you get your first one and it might be a year or two before you get your next one. And then all of a sudden they just start coming and becoming that luxury expert like Nolly was talking about. They need to know who you are. And in the market that I work, they know who I am. And it's because it's 23 years of showing up. I still sit open houses, you guys. Last year when I was here on stage, I had sat 85, last year I finished with 85 open houses as a 22-year veteran in the industry. Right now, I've done 65 open houses already this year. I'll finish with 100 this year. So guess what? Tomorrow, when I go home tonight, I have an open house. I have 2 open houses and a listing appointment tomorrow. So you guys have to put the work in. And this market requires you to work twice as hard to make the same, actually probably 3 times harder to make the same amount of money. So my income's down, everyone's income's down, right? But you have to put the work in, so don't give up, and you have to dig in, don't be a statistic. So become a master negotiator. Luxury clients expect advocacy and training, advocacy and strategy. The Institute for Luxury Home Marketing, get your certified luxury home marketing specialist certification. So once you have sold so many $1 million homes or so many $2 million homes, you can get a special designation to put on your logos. But there's a lot of great information on there, so kind of become a student. You want to create a repeatable luxury client experience process from first call to post-closing gifts. You want to think concierge level service. So you want to have the bar so high that they're like, oh my gosh, you're like the go-to person. Like twice this week, I've gotten calls. 2 of my lead listing appointments I'm going on this week came from past clients of mine or people that I know. They're like, you need to call Kim. So it takes time to break into the luxury market, but consistency compounds. Don't give up. Luxury is 80% mindset and execution, 20% opportunity. Your brand speaks before you do. It needs to match the level of client you want. Do not put cheesy paper flyers in your box. Do not. Do not. Don't bother. I'm not going to hire you. Why would someone else hire you? I've had so many times where someone pulled and I've listed $1 million or $2 million house because my flyer, my brochure was 1,000 times nicer than the competition down the street. So if you're going to do the work, do it to the best of your ability. Luxury real estate isn't an exclusive club, it's a standard which you choose to uphold every single day. So raise your brand, make yourself the standout agent for all your listings in your market right now, you guys. You go from $500,000 to $750,000 to $1 million. You don't go from a $500,000 listing agent to a $2.5 million listing agent usually. You go from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to $1 million. You creep up and the next thing you know, you're that person in your market. That's the video that we had before. If you'd like to connect with me on social, my business socials are there, my personal socials are there. I also have donated 2 hours of coaching, so make sure you fill in the raffle, you guys, in the box. I'm gonna donate 2 hours, 2 one-hour sessions to people. If you want to be coached up and kind of help break into luxury or how to raise your price point, please feel to reach out to me. And reach out to me, you can DM me on any of these. I'm here to help, and God bless you. Bye.